nightly. Man, I have a couple things to talk about today, man. I want to talk about Bob Arum saying that he has no problem making the Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight next. We all right now Earl Spence doesn't have an opponent. From far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna look on BoxRec. I know Earl Spence don't have an opponent yet, but I know Terrence Crawford has an opponent. Terrence Crawford is about to face Benavidez, and I guess Bob Arum saying after that fight he can make the Earl Spence fight. So right now Earl Spence has no opponent on the ledger. Terrence Crawford does have an opponent. Now, he also said that Earl Spence doesn't want to fight. Now, I'm not going to speculate if Earl Spence said that he don't want to fight because all that I've been hearing from is Earl Spence said he wants to fight. Now, he did say that Terrence Crawford has to come to Showtime to fight him, that he's not going to cross the street and fight on ESPN. He also said that he's not going to fight on ESPN and Terrence Crawford has to come to Showtime. He never said he does not want to fight. So I'm not going to go by Bob Arum on that statement until Earl Spence come out and say he doesn't want to fight. Then I will go by what Earl Spence said because I always stated and I always believe this: don't believe a lot of what these promoters say because a lot of them they say things for show. They say a lot of things for show. Now, has he spoken with Earl Spence? I doubt it because I think Earl Spence would have came out and said that he spoke to Bob Arum about the possibility of fighting Terrence Crawford. So a lot of these promoters, man, they want to say things to make their fighter look good, and rightfully so. That's what they supposed to. They supposed to promote their fighter. They supposed to show their fighter in the best light. And if he comes out and say, well, Earl Spence don't want to fight Terrence Crawford, then people will be like, man, Earl Spence scatters Terrence Crawford. But from all indications, Earl Spence has said time and time again that he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. So all that stuff Bob Arum talking about that Earl Spence don't want to fight, I don't believe that until I hear Earl Spence say he doesn't want to fight. So yeah, Bob Arum, man. Bob Arum is a character, man. But Bob Arum also stated that he wants Mikey Garcia to fight Lomachenko now. See, ever since Mikey Garcia has been saying he want to fight Earl Spence, now Bob Arum saying he is willing to sit down and make the Lomachenko fight. You see how that works? Because if Mikey Garcia go up there and lose to Earl Spence, he'll lose his unbeaten record. Then it will take off some of the luxury in Bob Arum mind of the Lomachenko versus Mikey fight. He wants to have Mikey Garcia as undefeated, never been beaten before, and he wants to see if his fighter Lomachenko can take that scalp. Which I think that's a tough role for Lomachenko fighting Mikey Garcia, simply because Mikey Garcia, yes, people will say, well, Lomachenko he never fought anybody with Lomachenko's speed and angles. That's true. Lomachenko has not fought anyone in my estimate as intelligent as Mikey Garcia is in the ring and with his timing, and he's faster than what you think he is. Because the timing of someone that can anticipate what someone does can make him faster, can make up for the lack of overall speed that he's lacking. And I believe Mikey Garcia has the ring IQ. I'm not saying Lomachenko don't have ring IQ. Of course he does. But I'm saying for the people that's saying that Mikey Garcia never been in the ring with somebody like Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia's been around boxing all his life. His brother Robert Garcia was a fighter. I believe his father or grandfather was fighters. So he's been around it all his life. He's been born into the business of boxing and the sport of boxing. So he won't be overwhelmed by the moment. Neither will Lomachenko. But I will have to go with Lomachenko in that fight if him and Mikey Garcia fight. I really would because Mikey Garcia is a bigger guy, and Mikey Garcia, if not more skilled than Lomachenko, he's just as skilled. So the only advantage that Lomachenko will have coming into the fight is his fast feet. Now he does have fast and quick feet. That's the only advantage he will have. He will not have any advantages anywhere else. Power, He doesn't have an advantage. Now you can say hand speed, he has a little advantage, but like I told you, Mikey Garcia being able to time you and anticipate things will make up some ground on that lack of hand speed. So I don't think he has a big advantage there. And Mikey is taller. Mikey is longer. So, and Mikey has fought at higher weights. So when a guy comes up in weight, he has to have, to me, he has to have the skill advantage over the other guy. Like he cannot be on par with skill and giving up size. That's how you lose. That's how you lose when you go up in weight. When you're giving up the weight and you don't have a gap of a skill level. See, that's why Pacquiao was able to move up in weight and be successful because the guys, either the guys up there, either like Marquez, I would say Marquez was more skilled than Pacquiao, but he wasn't fast. Pacquiao was fast, like really fast, too fast, to the point where Marquez skill level and and Pacquiao's speed, both of them were a gap, but it made for a great fight because neither one of them had that big of a the advantages either one the advantages they had in either department were big enough that the fight became a close fight. Now, when you look at Lomachenko and Mikey Garcia, the advantages to me in skill level is not in Lomachenko's favor. If it is in his favor, maybe in his favor a little bit, but the weight definitely not in his favor. So that'll be an interesting fight. But Bob Arum, coming out and said that he's willing to make the Terence Crawford fight. If I was Earl Spence, I would say, okay, let's make that fight next. Now, where they gonna fight at? Showtime or ESPN? Okay, they can either do a joint business deal where the fight air on both stations, or whichever station is willing to pay the most money for the rights for the fight. Is ESPN willing to pay more money than Showtime for the rights to the fight? Then that's who, to me, that's who should be able to promote the fight and get the fight. But I think fighters need to stop saying where they won't fight at because if that station is offering you more money than where you fighting at, you should go get that money, man. Because you as a fighter, you're that station that you fighting on, Showtime and ESPN, they're gonna be around for years, but you can't fight for years, so you got to go get that money. What's up, man? What's up? So you got to go get that money. You can't say, well, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Earl Spence can't say, well, I never fight on ESPN. ESPN offer you a lot of money. You're going to fight on ESPN. That's just what it is. And for Earl Spence to say he never going to fight on ESPN, but he doesn't have a fight deal with ESPN. He doesn't have a contract with ESPN. So he's literally a free agent. So he should be willing to say, well, Showtime, if y'all not gonna pay me the money that I'm looking for to fight Terence Crawford, then I'm gonna have to go over there and fight Terence Crawford because they offer me the money I'm looking for. Then you get a bidding war. Then you get the money get to be raised up because if Showtime really wants you, they will come over the top of ESPN, and if ESPN wants you, then that's how you get a bidding war. So you should always want a bidding war. It's like selling a house. You want as many as people looking at the house and wanting the house as possible because that raises up the price of the house. So supply and demand, man. But Bob Arum come out and say that Earl Spence don't want the Terence Crawford fight. I don't believe that, man. Now I believe Terence Crawford is going to win the fight, but I'm not one of these guys that going to that has to try to boost up the fighter and just come with these outlandish statements and say, well, look, Bob Arum says Earl Spence don't want to fight, so I'm gonna go with Bob Arum word. I'm not gonna go with none of these promoters' words. I don't go with what they say, man, because they can say anything. They are what you call the hype men for the fighters. They're gonna hype up all everything and make their fighter look in the best light possible, which I stated earlier, and that's their job. It's Bob Arum's job to hype Terence Crawford up. Now, I don't think he really has to hype Terence Crawford up that much because what he does in the ring speaks for itself, or what Earl Spence does in the ring speaks for itself. But it's always good for someone to come out there and speak on your behalf and just with a loudspeaker and say you're this, you that, and you this and you that. What's up, Hype Low? What's up, man? So uh, another thing is Keith Thurman's supposed to be coming back. You know his comeback fight. Now Keith Thurman had a setback. He was supposed to come back months ago, but he had another setback and with a hand injury. Now it's some reports saying that he may come back versus Zab Judah. I'm not really high on him fighting Zab Judah. I think even though with his layoff and his comeback, he needs a little somebody's gonna push him a little bit more than Zab Judah. Thurman fighting Zab Judah. I mean that's what people are saying. People saying Thurman gonna fight Zab Judah. I haven't heard anything until I really hear something. That's why I didn't put that in the title that he's fighting Zab Judah. I just put on there Keith Thurman comeback fight because I don't know who he's fighting. But I think he needs to fight somebody that's gonna push him a little bit so he can see how his injuries hold up. Zab Judah is not gonna push him. The only thing about him fighting Zab Judah is what if he get in the ring and he don't stop Zab Judah? Then that brings down Keith Thurman's stock even more. You know what I'm saying? He will have to get in there and stop Zab Judah in 2 rounds for me to say, wow, he's back. Wow, I like that performance. Or wow, you know what I'm saying? He has to stop. Zab Judah is done, man. Zab Judah is done, 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 done. Andre Berto is almost done too. He just about done too. He should stay away from Andre Berto. He should stay away from Zab Judah. He should stay away from Devin Alexander. Fight somebody else. Fight somebody else that is a little bit more credible than those three guys. Because you have to be tested. You know what I'm saying? He has to be tested. And unless he plan on fighting another tune-up fight after this before he go and fight one of the top guys at welterweight, then okay, I can see. If he's gonna fight Zab Judah, then he's gonna fight somebody like a Jesse Vargas or something like that. To me, fighting Jesse Vargas to me makes more sense than fighting Zab Judah. Like, or even Amir Khan. Even Amir Khan struggled in his last fight. Fighting Amir Khan is more credible than fighting Zab. Zab Judah is done, man. Like, done. Zab Judah out there trying to get another Danny Garcia fight. Danny Garcia 2. He want to fight Danny Garcia again. It was a good fight. It was a good performance by it was a so performance by Zab Judah. I thought Zab Judah fought really well in the last 3 rounds, but he waited 9 rounds to fight really well. Like he didn't pull a trigger in the first 9 rounds and fought like he should have fought. He waited to like the last 3 rounds, then he fought real well. So I don't want to see that fight again. The best moments of that fight was the press conference when he got into it with um with Danny Garcia's father, Angel Garcia. That was the best part of that fight. So I don't want to see Zab Judah not against Keith Thurman. I mean, Zab Judah, yeah, he can fight somebody else, but I don't want to see Zab Judah versus Keith Thurman. I just don't want to see it, man. Just like I don't want to see Paul Manaji anymore. There's certain fighters, man. That you got to move on for them fighters, man. Don't you can't retread some certain fighters. Just keep on no, 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 no. Don't nobody want to see that, man. Now, I would rather see him versus Jesse Vargas. I think Jesse Vargas is a more credible fight. Jesse Vargas will push him. Jesse Vargas will make him work, and will you know what I'm saying. He will see how his arm hold up and all that, and his hand and all that stuff. So you know what I'm saying. Hype Low, who did you think won the Triple G and Canelo fight? Who y'all thought won the Triple G and Canelo fight? I had Triple G winning, man. I stated earlier that I can understand how people can pick Canelo to win, get Canelo to win. I thought Triple G came out with a good game plan. I thought he was trying to. I thought the game plan was trying to let Canelo be the lead because Canelo is a natural counterpuncher. Canelo is not a guy that likes to lead. But I thought Triple G did it for too many rounds. I thought Triple G was gonna. I was like, oh, okay, I see the posture he coming out in. He trying to make Canelo lead. So because if he put on the pressure on Canelo right away, Canelo might have started moving around. So I can see what he was. I can see what he was thinking. But he lost. He definitely lost the moment. I thought Canelo won the moment. Aside from the fight, I thought Canelo won the moment because Canelo actually stood in the red zone, what I call right there in the center of the ring. He did very little movement. He did slip some punches. He did make Triple G miss, but he was still in the pocket. Like I told people before, you can still make people miss and still be in the pocket and still be in punch range. That's actually boxing. Boxing is not being having your back all on the ropes all most of the round, and no, that's not boxing. Boxing is turning the man, fighting off angles, using your jab, keeping the man off balance, being in punch range so you can hit him. Yes, he can hit you, but you can still slip his punches. That's boxing, man. First fight I had GGG. Second fight I had a draw, so I'm not mad. Yeah, yeah. I thought it could have been a draw. You seen one of them judges had 114, 114. I thought it was a great fight, man. I thought it was a great middleweight fight. I thought Canelo fought a great fight, man. You know what I'm saying? He showed, and which I thought Canelo will fight that type of fight because Canelo was feeling the pressure from the Mexican fans to fight a certain way. You know what I'm saying? To fight with courage. They don't think he fought with that much courage in the first fight. They thought that they probably thought that he gave up too much ground, which I thought he gave up too much ground. You know what I'm saying? I thought he didn't in the first fight. I thought he did not set his feet and he did not fight Triple G off when he should have fought Triple G off. So the second fight, he actually came out there and did that. He actually came out and asserted himself. He made a conscious effort that he was not going to move off his square, so to speak, and he gave Golovkin all he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great fight. Now, do I want to see it again? I don't think Oscar will put Canelo in there again because those type of fights take a lot out of you. Like that fight right there, they took a lot out of each other. Now the question is, who will Canelo fight next? I think Canelo should give the Charlo brother his mandatory, or he should fight the winner of Saunders versus Andrade. Either go after unification or fight your mandatory. Now it's signals out there that he's gonna fight David Lemieux. Now I thought looking at that card, I was like, they Oscar is possibly setting up a match between David Lemieux and Canelo. You know what I'm saying? I thought a year ago that he would fight David Lemieux, but he didn't. So I thought after the Triple G fight that uh, you know um, Oscar wanted to rebuild up David Lemieux, which was smart. He rebuilt up David Lemieux, but David Lemieux ended up losing to Saunders. Now David Lemieux got an impressive knockout against O'Sullivan in the first round. So now people looking at David Lemieux like, man, looking at his power, and now I think he's about to put him in there with Canelo. Now Canelo do deserve to have. I mean, it's not really what he deserves. If he fight David Lemieux, I'm not gonna be terribly mad, but you got Charlo out there that needs his shot, and by Hopkins coming out and making a preemptive strike and saying that Charlo was not going to get his shot because he needs to fight somebody. He needed a high profile name and all that. But David Lemieux don't have a high profile name. Now David Lemieux did fight Triple G, but he doesn't have a high profile name. What have David Lemieux did in boxing to say that he deserves a shot over Charlo? It's not like he beat Triple G. It's not like he came close to beating Triple G. He got stopped. You know what I'm saying? And every time David Lemieux fought anybody good, he lost. He lost to Saunders. He lost to Triple G. So he could beat guys like the Curtis Stevensons of the world, or the Sullivans of the world. Those guys, he can beat those guys, but can he beat the top level guys? He has not shown that yet. So he hasn't shown anything over Charlo to say that he should get the fight over Charlo. So Charlo should get the fight, man. Plain and simple. Like, you can't keep sidestepping the young man and not getting his shot. When is let me see. Joshua, when is that Anthony Joshua fight? Is it coming up this week? Let me see, man. Let me see if the Anthony Joshua coming up this week. Eddie Hearn coming out saying that the Anthony Joshua the Anthony Joshua fight that Povetkin is a harder fight than a Wilder fight. I mean, only time will tell. When they get in the ring, if he fight both of them. I mean, you can't say that right now. He may have a hard time with Povetkin. He may have easier time with Wilder. He may have a hard time with Wilder, easier time with Povetkin. We don't know until they, fight each other. But let me see. That fight is, hold on, it's coming up. Not hold on, it's coming up this week. Is this Saturday? That fight is this Saturday. So I'm looking forward to the fight. I know a lot of people don't want to see the fight, but I'm not gonna boycott a top level fighter. I want to see him perform. I want to see if Joshua can have because his last two performances was kind of lackluster, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though he, won that title, even though he won the title versus Joseph Parker, it was still lackluster. Lackluster. The Carlos Takam fight was lackluster, even though he stopped Carlos Takam. It was lackluster. Now I want to see versus Povetkin, a savvy veteran, former gold medalist. His only loss came to Klitschko, which everybody said Klitschko was hugging him, and yeah, he was. He was holding him a lot excessively. So a lot of people kind of look at Povetkin as not, he didn't get beat up in the fight versus Klitschko. They look at Klitschko got away with a foul of holding too much. So this is a good test. Now, how good of a test it is remain to be seen. We'll see it on Saturday night. I got Joshua winning the fight. I think Joshua need an impressive performance along with a knockout. I really do because his if he have another lackluster performance, that'd be three in a row. His stock can start going down. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people will look at it like Povetkin is off the juice, and Povetkin is not as dangerous as he was on the juice. You could see that he was knocking these guys out in dramatic fashion, and now because Povetkin has been caught a couple times, so I don't even know how credible Povetkin is, and I don't even know if how many fights he was on the juice and how many fights he was off the juice. It's hard to tell. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell if Povetkin, is as good as he's shown. So that's why I think Anthony Joshua need to go in there and knock the man out. I think Anthony Joshua has to go in there and knock Povetkin out, and set up a fight for him with him and Wilder. If Wilder beat Fury, which I got Wilder beating Fury, that fight should come off next year. So, um, yeah, that fight should come off next year, man. But if I don't know if Earl Spence can't get a fight this year, I mean, is Earl Spence going to sit out the rest of this year? He's not going to fight. What he fought? I know Earl Spence fought Ocampos, but I'm trying to see. Earl Spence fought once this year so far, right? Did he fight once or twice? Did he fight once or twice? He fought twice because he fought Lamont Peterson. So he has fought twice. But I'm looking at it like he fought twice. He fought a total of 8 rounds. I mean, he fought Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson really didn't threaten him. I don't even know how that went. I'm still trying to figure out how that goes. How did that fight even go 7? Ocampos, he didn't show or do anything. So, he really had one fight this year. He's going to combine both of those two together because neither one of them was really competitive in the fight. Campos definitely wasn't competitive. I'm trying to figure out. I know I've seen the Lamont Peterson fight. I'm trying to figure out how did that fight go 7. I'm perplexed. I didn't realize the fight went 7. I thought the fight went like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? But is Earl Spence going to sit out the rest of the year? Now, by Mayweather. Now, is Mayweather really going to come back and fight in December? Pacquiao. Like I said, I'm not gonna look at that fight. I'm not even worried about. I'm gonna watch the fight, but I'm not gonna pay for that fight. That's what I meant to say. I'm gonna watch the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd fight because I like boxing, but I'm not gonna pay for that, man. I'm not gonna pay to watch that fight after y'all had that lackluster fight, the first fight, and y'all made us wait for 5 6 years. This fight right here, y'all should be getting this fight for free. This fight should be Free, 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 free. Jeff Mayweather was at a he was doing a he was at I think he was at a boxing expo, and he was asking people about the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd fight. People said that Floyd was gonna win, and a couple people said Pacquiao, but some fans was like they don't want to see the fight. They don't think the fight should happen. So I think Mayweather is putting it out there, trying to see what the fans is gonna say, because he do like to put things out there and get the temperature of the fans. But I could tell him right now, the temperature of most people I know, they don't even care if the fight happens. If it happens, they will watch it. They're not gonna pay for it. That's just the simple matter. It's just simple. Floyd, you cannot come back. I mean, he will be able to get a large portion of people because they probably will do a 4 or 5 city tour. Mayweather be talking mess. He will hype people up, and people will buy the fight again. I understand that, but it won't be me. You know what I'm saying? You won't get me. You won't. I'm not gonna say you got me the first time. I just wanted to see the fight because the fight was the most anticipated for like 5 or 6 years, and I just wanted y'all to go ahead and fight, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like talking about possible matchups that fighters can have in the era that they're in. Fantasy matchups, like let's just say, like if we arguing about Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Leonard, or Mayweather versus Thomas Hearns, or Andre Ward versus Roy Jones. Okay, we can argue that, and that's a fantasy matchup that it could never happen. But to argue about something or debate something that can happen is ludicrous, man. That's ludicrous. That's what we doing with the welterweight division right now. We talking about possible matchups. Now we have had got some matchup. We got Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter. We got Keith Thurman versus Danny. We got Danny versus Keith versus Sean Porter. Yes, we have. But I want to see the Keith Thurman versus Earl. I want to see Earl versus Crawford. I want to see Crawford versus everybody at welterweight at the top, even Danny, even Porter, even Keith Thurman. So, like I said, man, they should come out with a welterweight tournament. I'm down for a welterweight tournament. Come out with a welterweight tournament. Put Danny in there, Keith in there, Earl in there, Sean Porter in there, Terence Crawford in there, and find one more person to put in there. Like what other welterweight I would throw in there? I wouldn't mind. Let me see. Let me look at the ratings, welterweight ratings, real quick. Let me see the ratings. Let me see the 6 person I'll throw in there in the welterweight tournament. Let me know who would y'all like to see in a welterweight tournament. Anybody I named that y'all wouldn't put in there? Let me see, man, because all the champions have to be in there. So Earl, Keith, Crawford, and Sean has to be in. Oh, put Manny Pacquiao in there. Manny Pacquiao as a 6 person. I was gonna say Jesse Vargas, but no, put Manny Pacquiao in there. If you want to go 8, put Manny Pacquiao in there. Put Ugas in there, and put Jesse Vargas in there. If you want to do 8. If you want to do an 8-man tournament, okay, we could do an 8-man tournament in the welterweight tournament. We got like I said, put Keith Thurman in there, put Earl Spence in there, put Terence Crawford, Sean Porter. Those are the champions. Well, Pacquiao got a version of the WBA championship. I don't know how. Put Pacquiao in there, put Danny in there. That's 6. Put Ugas in there. Either you could put Ugas, definitely put Ugas in there because he's on a long run at welterweight. Put Jeff Horn or Jesse Vargas. You could do a coin flip. Jeff Horn or Jesse Vargas. I would not put Jeff Horn in there simply because he said he having a hard time making the weight. Put Jesse Vargas in there. Or you could put Jeff Horn in there because you got the whole Pacquiao dilemma. The whole him and the first match you can have is him versus Pacquiao in the rematch. That'd be exciting. But yeah, man, we need a welterweight tournament, man, so we can clear it up. After that tournament, we will have an undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Unlike, I know that tournament, the Super Six tournament of the 68-pound tournament with Ward and them when Ward was in it, but my guy wasn't in there. Lucien Boutte wasn't in there, so Ward wasn't undisputed. You know, Lucien Boutte still had, I believe Lucien Boutte had the IBF still. Ward came out of there with the WBA, WBO, and WBC, but he didn't have the IBF. Lucien Boutte did not get in the tournament. So in this tournament, the welterweight tournament, we will have a undisputed champion after the tournament is over, and that's what I'm in favoring. And they should start it next year. That way, Keith Thurman can have his warm up out the way, and they can start it next year. Sometime next year, they can start it. They can start the welterweight tournament. Cause man, it's all this, speculation, and then we can get rid of the speculation who ducking, who dodging, who don't want to fight who, and I know certain people fight on different networks. I know, you know, Crawford fight on ESPN, and then most of the rest of the guys they fight on Showtime, and Usyk fight on Showtime, so that's no worry. Jeff Horn, I don't think Jeff Horn will have a problem fighting wherever is at, and just when Trans Crawford fight any of the Showtime fighters, is show on both stations, show on ESPN and show on Showtime, so that get rid of that, man. Let's just get these fights going. Let's get these guys. Let's consolidate these belts, man. I think every weight class should have a tournament. Every couple every couple years, man, have a tournament so we can consolidate the belts so you can know who the champion is, man. You got to know who the champion is so everybody can relate and say, "Oh, that's the champion. Those are the challengers." And then you won't have guys ducking each other because you have to fight each other for the right to fight the champion. See, the reason why everybody is, maneuvering can maneuver around people because there's so many belts as it is. So you can just pick off the weakest link. Let me pick him off. He's not a, he's not as a harder fight as the guy that got the WBA. So let me go after the guy that got the WBC or the IBF or something like that. You will stop all of that, and we'll get better fights. We will get much better fights if you had a ranking that had a champion at the head, and then you had everything. You had a legitimate top 10. Because all these guys are just title holders. Nobody is a champion at welterweight. Like I said, the only champion is Usyk. Usyk is the only champion in boxing. Period. So I'm looking forward to the Povetkin versus Joshua fight, man. I'm not as down as Joshua as everybody else. A lot of people think he should have took the $50 million. I'm not privy to the meetings. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was said. I can't even begin to tell you what was said. And a lot of people that has an opinion on it, they don't know what was said. They don't know how the meetings was going. You can have these guys come out, these promoters can come out here and tell you anything that happened up in there. To make their side look good. Eddie Hearn can tell you what happened in there to make his side look good. Lulu Bella and all those guys on that side, on Wilder side, can come out and tell you what happened in there to make their side look good. But all I know is this: the fight just didn't happen. The fight wasn't made. But I heard Eddie Hearn say that he didn't want to fight the 2020 last year. He said he didn't want to fight the 2020. So people just not listening, man. And then by them saying that they will accept $50 million. I think Joshua did say he would accept $50 million. Then Joshua said, and Eddie Hearn came out and said, well, the $50 million wasn't. They didn't see the $50 million. They want to see it. They want to know that it's there. That $50 million is going to be up front and all this stuff. Emails wanting sent back. See, that's why I told you, man. We cannot, as boxing supporters, we cannot get in the business of trying to figure out who's wrong in the negotiations. All we know is the fight is not made. The fight is not made, so I'm holding both sides accountable because the fight is not made. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get up out of here, man. Get something to eat. So, I'll be back with another one tomorrow, y'all. I'm out.